All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock. Let's bring the meeting to order for the 27th of July. Real quick, roll call. Steve Ball. Phoebe Benzinger.
Here.
Jan Chastain. Chad Huffman.
Here.
Delphine Jadot.
Here.
Richard Rogers. Ronald Cairns. And I'm David Fishering, and I'm here. Approval of the minutes from 7:13. You guys have any issues with the minutes? Nope. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
All right, so moved. Richard, so moved.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, all those opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Any additions or deletions, William?
No.
Okay, in that case, we've got one agenda item, and it's the Fairfield sign variance, so go ahead, William.
All right, thank you. We'll just share my screen here. There we go. So as you said, this is a variance for Fairfield by Marriott, which is located in the Colorado Outdoor subdivision. This shows the map of the future property of the hotel there. It's currently addressed as 25 Tributary Street. The entire Colorado Outdoor subdivision is in the zone I-1 Light Industrial District. However, there was also a planned development associated with the subdivision that states that uses by right within the B3 General Commercial District are also allowed in this subdivision. So if you're wondering why they never came before you for a conditional use permit, that's why. They didn't need to do that. So the applicant tonight is requesting a variance to the sign code that would allow 283.721 square feet across 4 signs in the I-1 Light Industrial District. Now, normally in the I-1 Industrial District, businesses are limited to the lesser of 1.5 square feet per linear
There doesn't
foot.
appear to be any audio. There we go. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. Normally in the I-1 Light Industrial District, businesses are limited to the lesser of 1.5 square feet per linear foot of principal street frontage, or 200 square feet of signage across 2 signs. And in the case of this lot, that would reach that 200 square foot maximum. However, there are several factors at play here that we think warrant allowing more square footage for this property. The building's large facade makes it a candidate for a sign variance, as well as the building's location, which is set back from North Townsend Avenue and requires a larger amount of signage in order to be visible from Townsend. Also, as previously mentioned, the planned development for Colorado Outdoors allows for B3 uses, but it was determined that individual sign permits would need to go through a variance process if going beyond what the I-1 Light Industrial District would allow. Variances for signs are a little bit different from other variances that we normally bring before you. The variance shall not adversely affect the public health, safety, and welfare. We feel that requirement is met. The variance requested is the minimum variance that will afford relief. This is pretty difficult to define. However, we did negotiate with the applicant. Some of the initial proposals were for much larger square footage. We feel that the current proposal of 283.721 square feet meets this criteria. The variance will not result in signage incompatible with other properties in the area and will not affect or impair the value, use, or development of such properties. This property is adjacent to B3 General Commercial District zoning, and other properties in the Colorado Outdoor subdivision should not be detrimentally impacted by the variance. And strict compliance with the regulation presents practical difficulties or unnecessary hardships. And as we said, the building is well set back from the main road there, and the variance sought falls within the spirit of the sign code as a whole. Staff feels that that criteria is met. And so now I'll show their plans here. Please note that the plan does show an off-site sign. That is not included as part of this variance application, and that's a separate issue. Tonight we're solely looking at signage on this particular parcel. I won't go too into detail about each individual page here. But here's a wall sign on one side of the building, and then on the other side of the building, here's this. Here is the side. These are also all in your packet. I don't have too much to say about each individual sign here. And they are also proposing a monument sign out in front of the hotel. As you can see, there's also some lighting plan for this. That would obviously need to be dark sky compliant and adhere to our lighting regulations. So in conclusion, staff finds that the proposed variance meets the requirements of section 4428. We think that it's compatible with other signage in the area and it falls within the spirit of the sign code as a whole. Staff recommends approval of the variance application. And with that, if a representative of the application is here, sir, are you part of the application or part of the public? Okay. If you have anything to add, you can feel free to come forward and state your name and address.
I think you got it.
Okay.
All right, are any of the folks on Zoom part of the applicant as well?
Yes. If anyone on Zoom has something to add, please unmute yourself, and I'll stop sharing my screen so that's actually visible.
Hi, I'm Todd Lamont. I'm with Lamont Companies. I'm in the procurement department, and I guess I don't have anything to add. I think Persona put together a pretty good signage package that lays it out all pretty clearly. I guess if there's questions, I'm available to try and answer them. And also, I think Logan is on the Zoom call as well, and he can answer any questions that might come up.
Todd, would you state your address for us, please?
Our business address, our corporate headquarters is in Aberdeen, South Dakota, 205 6th Avenue Southeast, Suite 300, Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions for the applicant? No?
Sure, I'll have a question for Will. So you mentioned the brightness, and it does comply, or can you clarify, it does comply, or it's going to comply with the dark skies requirements?
It will have to. The details of the lighting are not part of this application. However, when they do build the building itself, all lighting, including the lighting for the sign, will have to be compliant with our lighting regulations.
Great, thank you. Next, for the rest of Colorado Outdoors, are we anticipating a whole bunch of signs? Because there's a whole bunch of little businesses there, and what else is going to end up showing up eventually?
I would anticipate signs. Whether they'll seek variances, I can't say. I don't know.
Okay.
William, what, I mean, the variance doesn't seem like it's that much beyond what is allowed anyway, but how does it compare to other signage in, in the surrounding area, but also for the other hotels? We don't want to do something here where, the city gets hit with a bunch of complaints from every other hotel in town because they didn't get sign variances. It seems pretty straightforward. It looks like every other Fairfield sign I've ever seen on a hotel, so it doesn't look like it's, grossly large or anything like that. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you comment on that at all?
Yeah, so as far as what's around it, like I said, there's other B3 zoning that is nearby, and the planned development allowed for B3 uses. According to our sign code, within the B3 zoning district, it does allow for up to 300 square feet of signage. And so this is below that. As far as other hotels, we actually did try to look at it. I could not find sign permits that the other hotels applied for. And so I don't know exactly what square footage they have. They appear to be compliant with their zoning district, but I don't have an exact square footage for you.
So, William, I have a quick question. Oh, touchpad. Wow, I didn't get the in-service on that. So the main motivation for this variance, I would take it, is that it needs to be able to be viewed from Highway 550. Is that correct? I mean, is it?
I think that's a fair statement. I
Okay.
would lead on the applicant to
Okay.
We'll confirm that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's legitimate. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. So as you're flying in over the motel and you're coming in, you're low enough to see the sign and say, we got to go there, because I'm tired, right? So, yeah, I don't have any problem with it.
Anybody else got any questions, comments?
That would definitely be one item that we're trying to capture, I guess, is being able to see it as you land.
All right, in that case, we will open up the public comment portion. I don't think there's any, well, there is nobody on Zoom, right? Because we stopped doing that, didn't we? And there's nobody here, so in that case, we'll close it immediately and move on to if there's any other questions or discussions that we need to have, guys? No? All right, well, then I will entertain a motion to,
Actually, can I ask
oh, go ahead, Steve.
a question? This,
Yep.
all right, well, oh, it is red, it's just being blocked. So I guess I maybe can direct it either to the city first or whoever, and then to the applicant, or whoever might have information on this. It's related to Chad's question about asking what the other, because part of the code seems to be that it's in character with the surrounding area, which as we noted now don't have signs. But since this is a coordinated development that's ongoing and will be, there'll be other signage there. I'm just curious, is there a conversation, say, amongst different people who are developing parcels of Colorado outdoors, say, about what, regarding the signage, say, size or aesthetic in particular, but as part of the, look of the area about coordinating what they expect and what they want as a group? Do we know if? Yeah.
May I add something? I just want also to clarify that this is a use by right in B3, correct? And we're right next to B3. And
I'm sorry.
the only reason that we need this variance is because this has been, this was a PC or, yes,
They are also
Correct.
asking for 4 signs as opposed to 3.
Instead of
but
3.
the, square footage in B3 ordinarily would allow up to 300 square feet.
correct. That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
It-
Right?
I'm sorry?
Is it I, zone I? What's the zone?
Yeah, this is I-1. As far as coordination with other property owners, as you can see, no one came to object to that. There could be a discussion among property owners to do a coordinated sign plan. That's something that could potentially happen, but as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been a conversation to that effect. If there are future variance applications outside of a coordinated sign plan, you would need to look at each one individually and look at the merits of them individually, not as a coordinated sign plan as a whole.
Thanks, William. Did that answer your question, Steve?
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
May I ask Will to clarify something? I feel like we might not all be clear about this. So what zone is this parcel in?
So this is in I-1, Light Industrial District.
And are the regulations in I-1 different than B3?
Yes.
For signs?
Yes.
But what's the weird thing about this area, this I-1?
So when the Colorado Outdoors subdivision did a plan development, it was zoned I-1, and so all uses by right within I-1 are allowed here. However, the PD also stated that uses by right within the B3 General Commercial District would also be allowed in this area, even though it's zoned I-1.
So am I right in understanding that if this hotel were located in B3, then there'd be a more generous sign allowance?
That's correct.
So I think what Will's trying to propose is allowing this hotel to be treated as it would be if it were in B3, and not be further restricted because it's in I-1, is that right? But it still actually is getting a little less signage than if it were in B3.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks for letting me just clarify, but this is sort of a unique area in the URA, different than some of our other zoning districts. So it will feel like B3 because there are businesses that could be allowed in B3, but the sign regulations for I-1 are more restrictive. So it's a compromise kind of situation, if I'm understanding right.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you for letting me ask.
Thanks, Ann. Go ahead, Steve.
To clarify, unless it's wrong in the packet, what we have says even in B3, it's still 2 primary, 1 secondary signs. So it's actually going beyond, it is asking for beyond the B3.
In number, but not square footage. That's correct.
Yeah, it's beyond below, but for another number, yeah.
Will, can you pull up the map picture again and show us where these signs are in relation to the river?
I can pull up their plan. It's not going to show the river, but
But it gives us a general idea. The map will still give us a general idea.
I'll pull up the vicinity map. Nope, I forgot to share my screen, I'm sorry.
Boy, yeah, you can't really see where the river is at all with that map.
Yeah, so I'll pull up this first, and then I can pull up our GIS map here in a second. But this is, the black outline is the parcel in particular. You can't see the river.
Is there a sign on the
this.
west end of that, west end of the building? Shining at the river? No. there's
So,
not. Okay, nope, you've answered my question.
okay.
Thank you. Yes.
And so, William, since you have that up, number 6 is the one that is not part of this application, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's on the road. Yeah, okay. You guys got anything else for staff? No? All good down there, guys? Okay, in that case, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do the motion. I hereby make a motion to approve the request to allow variance for 283.721 square feet of signage for Fairfield by Marriott at 25 Tributary Street. The request meets the code criteria and standards based on the evidence and testimony presented at this hearing and in the staff report.
All right. Have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Jan. Any discussion? No? All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right. Motion passes unanimously. All right. And so with that, hopefully the hotel can move on to the next phase and get one day closer to getting built. All right. Anything else? Any other business, William?
Nope.
Okay, next meeting? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, did you want to talk real quick about the things
Yeah.
that you emailed about?
Yep, sure. So next Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we will, by the way, thank you to Todd and Dave. You don't need to stay on longer, but you're certainly welcome to. So next week at 5 o'clock, we'll be doing a tour of a few of the redo projects that we've had in town. We will get to go in at least one of them, maybe some others, we'll have to see. As you know, our redo applications don't come before you, they're just done administratively, but we feel like this would be a good opportunity for you to see one of the ways that we try to encourage more housing in downtown. We'll be taking a Public Works van unless there's not enough of you to justify that, but Ross Valdez, who I don't know if all of you have met, but he's our community engagement specialist. He'll be driving us around. I will not be driving. I'm not a good driver, and I don't trust myself with that van. But, yeah, I think it should be a good opportunity, if you're available. Obviously, I know you all have busy schedules, so, no worries if you can't make it, but, yeah. We'll meet at City Hall, probably Centennial Plaza makes the most sense, to just meet right outside of City Hall. Okay. Yeah, I think Centennial Plaza right next to City Hall. That's a good question. I think the last one we did was about an hour or so. Maybe. Oh, okay. Great. So yeah, it should be good. And then we also have I also forwarded the message from Ross about the supportive housing kind of discussion there. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make it, but we anticipate that we'll have some supportive housing applications before you in the near future, so it could be a good opportunity to just learn a little bit more about those.
About supportive housing, right?
Yes.
In general, what it looks like, what it is, why it is, but you wouldn't hear anything about any applications that would come before you, just to be clear. And even if you had questions about those, you would hold them until you have this meeting. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, sure. I can't help it. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so maybe on the next meeting, or we don't know yet?
I'd been hoping to ask Ann before this meeting tonight. We had two applicants that were ready, and both applicants asked for different reasons to push it back. So right now, we do not have any applications. We might have opportunity for a training, but we haven't determined that yet.
Cool. Well, let us know.
Yeah.
You guys interested in coming to a training? If we do a short one, just catch up. We have some new board members. There've been some questions. We think it'd be good. Okay. Good. So let's plan on having the meeting, and we'll try and do a succinct training. At that time, topic TBD. Great. Oh, yeah, we could do that. The process. Yeah. All right.
All right, so that'll be the August 10th. Cool. Sounds good.
Thanks for the reminder, Phoebe.